All right, so this is Wall Street. Wall Street is named for an actual wall that used to exist here in the mid-1600s. It was built by the Dutch to protect them from frequent Indian raids, but also to protect them from the English, who they were at war with overseas. Now, the Dutch, they didn't come here to escape religious persecution or to start a new life. They came here to work, to make a buck. They came here as traders, and they traded guns and ammunition to the Indians for beaver pelts, which they would use to make hats and gloves. Broad Street here, this actually used to be a canal that came all the way up here, and you could bring your skiffs under the bridges and visit the local bars and taverns.
When they were building Goldman Sachs back here, they unearthed some of the foundations from our old Dutch colonial buildings. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any more of the Dutch colonial buildings that remain down here in Lower Manhattan. They all burned up in the fires of either 1776 or of 1835. This is the site of the very first terrorist attack on New York City. The date was September 16, 1920. A horse-drawn cart had pulled up to this spot at around noon, and the driver gets off the cart and goes scurrying off into the crowd, never to be seen or heard from again. What nobody knew at the time was that there was 100 pounds of dynamite and 500 pounds of small lead weights on this cart. And at 12:01 p.m., the fireball went 100 feet into the air. Shrapnel went everywhere.
You know, in this attack on Wall Street, this explosion, they never found out who did it. They blamed it on Italian anarchists and communist elements at the time because it was an attack on capitalism itself. You can see the evidence on the wall here. This is the actual evidence from 1920. This is limestone marble, so you can imagine if it did this to this wall, what it did to the 38 people that died here that day and over 400 that were injured. There was a horse leg that was found on the steps of one of the banks, and a woman's head was actually plastered onto the wall with her hat still on. They also found horse hooves in the graveyard of Trinity Church. They searched 4,000 different blacksmiths up and down the eastern seaboard to find out who created the horseshoes, who the horse was, and who the driver was, but they never found out.